Guys, in an era where it seems like every show is being revived, can DuckTales be just as innovative and entertaining as it once was? Let's find out.
Don't change the channel, don't touch that dial. We got it all on UHM. Take off your sneakers. Tales of daring, bad and good, not ponytails or cottontails, no DuckTales.
Hey guys, now for the series premiere of the revival series of DuckTales Season 1, Episode 1, Woohoo, you know, like the classic woo! The essential plot of DuckTales, if you guys don't know, is basically you got Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They, of course, are living with their Uncle Donald, and Donald, he has a very important job interview, and basically, to keep Huey, Dewey, and Louie from messing it up, he sends them to live with their very mysterious uncle, Uncle Scrooge. And when they go there, they end up uncovering some very deep secrets about him. And that's basically all I'm gonna say. And I was definitely really looking forward to the series premiere. But to be 100% honest with you guys, I am not the most accurate DuckTales reviewer. Like, this won't be the most accurate review you've seen, simply because I didn't really watch DuckTales a lot. Why? I didn't grow up with it. I really didn't. DuckTales came out way before my time, and it ended way before my time. And yes, I've seen episodes here and there. It's a very entertaining show. I don't remember it all, though. I was more of a House of Mouse, you know, Mickey Mouse era type person. I never really watched those, like, 90s shows. I've seen a couple episodes of Goof Troop, things like that, but I know DuckTales is adored by many for that reason. However, I was really looking forward to seeing this. You know, these are classic characters, and this show is pretty much iconic at this point. So I was really hoping that they would, in fact, get it right. And I have to say that if this is any indication of what this series is going to be, then I think they absolutely are handling this right. I honestly really love this series premiere. I think there's a ton of stuff in here that definitely sets up for a very compelling show, and it really does seem like they're deepening on some things as well, but let's just get into it right now. I'll talk about all the good and bad of the show overall. So, right off the bat, the one thing that I was a little bit hesitant about is the cast here. Some of the casting choices I just wasn't 100% sure of, but I have to say, I think everyone really delivered. There's not a single cast member here that I'm like, oh no, they're not right for this part. I think everyone is great here. There's really no one I can say they were off, you know, they were miscasted. But let's first talk about David Tennant, who there were many character choices I was like, kind of, I don't know. This was not one of them. David Tennant seemed like the perfect casting for Scrooge McDuck, and he absolutely delivers in the way I was hoping he does. I mean, Scrooge in general is such a compelling character. He's so reclusive and mysterious, and Tennant plays that in a way where it's not so much that Scrooge is selfish. It's more that over the years, he's just had so much happen to him. He's kind of gone to hiding, and he's such a public figure that he's kind of had to, you know, go into hiding and things like that. And I thought they gave some really good, surprisingly emotional stuff to Scrooge I definitely really did like. But he also is still the snobby, you know, obsessed with money Scrooge that we all know and love. And I thought David Tennant did such a great job with that. I thought he was so entertaining as this character. You can tell that he longs for adventure. It doesn't take him long to be pulled back into the action. And once he does, that's what he loves to do. He loves to go on adventures. He loves to battle and go in these crazy situations. And I really love what he did here. I thought it was just so entertaining to watch. And David Tennant was absolutely the right choice for his character. He was fantastic. However, the three casting choices that I was a little bit like, I don't know, were that of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And it's mainly because I'm so used to hearing them as they did, you know, as we know, like where they sound as kids, and where I'm pretty sure it's played by the same actor. I don't know if it is, but I'm pretty sure the same actor did the voice work for Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And here, yes, they are doing something different, but it works really, really well. And I gotta say, both Dany Pudi, Ben Schwartz, and Bobby Moynihan, the three of them really do work great as these characters. You know, Huey, Dewey, and Louie always being the one that they call the devil of the triplets. So that was a lot of fun to watch, but they all really did a great job. You could tell they all really, you know, they have this great teamwork. They all work really well together, and I really did love what they did. I can't really find a standout because I think all three of them did a really phenomenal job. And again, these are such iconic characters, and you can just see the whimsical child-esque side. You know, they really just want some attention from Scrooge. That's really all they want, and he doesn't want it from them. He sends them into the garage, and basically they uncover all these different kinds of secrets, and I really did love what they did. I thought they were just a lot of fun to watch, and they really do capture that rambunctious, but overall just very innocent side of Huey, Dewey, and Louie that we all really do love. And I thought their bonding with David Tennant was really spot on. It doesn't take very long to bond with him, but once they did, I thought they worked really well together, and it really does seem like these were absolutely the right choices for these characters, and I really did love what we got with them here. Easily, though, the most surprising of the bunch is Kate Miccucci as Webby. Now, look, I like Kate Miccucci, but when I saw that she was being cast, I'm like, I don't know about that. Kate Miccucci is just a really raunchy comedian, and the stuff I've seen her in, it just doesn't seem like something she'd do fantastic as Webby. I really loved her as this character. Webby is basically this little girl who is absolutely obsessed with the duck, with Huey, Dewey, and Louie and Scrooge. She's done extensive research on them, and she has all these kinds of backstories and things like that. She's really what brings them into all of the adventures, and I thought they really interacted very well here. But they also showed very well that Webby's not the best at lying. She's really not. She doesn't have the skill set that Huey, Dewey, and Louie do, but I thought she fit right in there. I definitely really liked her as a character. She, again, was just a lot of fun to watch, and I thought all four of them worked really well together. They really did assemble this team quite well. I didn't really remember Webby as the character, because, again, remember, I didn't really watch DuckTales a lot, but she was still a lot of fun to watch, and I really did love what she did here. For me, easily, though, the funniest of the bunch was Beck Bennett as Launchpad. I love this character. This is someone who he is in fact a pilot, and he knows it. He knows he's a pilot, and anytime they need a pilot, he's right there to help, and he had so many funny lines throughout this premiere, whether it's constantly, the reassurance that, oh, I'm a pilot, I can help, and Scrooge just kind of ignoring him. I thought that was great. But probably his funniest line is when he sees Donald and Scrooge is talking to him, and Donald's like, are you mad at me? And Launchpad's like, how can I be? I don't even know you. I thought that was just hilarious stuff there. There was so much great stuff with this character. His character is completely in the dark, and I really love what they did with him. He was hilarious here. And then Toks Olagundoye, sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but as Mrs. Bleakley, she was also really entertaining to watch. Not a ton for her to do in this first episode. We see that they're obviously, she's watching Webby, and Webby is, trying to keep her out of a lot of the, misadventures that all of them are getting into, and she's not the best at lying, obviously, but Mrs. Bleakley realizes that she's actually safer with Scrooge, and I thought that was just a really good narrative overall. I thought they worked really well together, and I really did love what she did in the show. And then some we absolutely have to talk about is Tony Anselmo as Donald Duck. I mean, this is just such an iconic role at this point. Everyone knows Donald Duck, everyone loves Donald Duck, and I'll say right now, basically everything you know and love about this character is captured in this episode, whether it's the, crazy tantrums that Donald goes on, or just his slurred speech, or just how fun of how the kind of character that he really is. It's just a lot of fun to watch, and see Huey, Dewey, and Louie irritate him. I mean, that never gets old, and he just does such a great job. After all these years, Tony Anselmo is still so great as this character, and I just really enjoyed seeing him. And what's cool about this is that Donald is a lot more, he's a lot more of a central focus in this show. Why? In the original show, he was going off, to Navy, and we never saw him, but here, it's not that. He's going for a job, so he is actually a lot more heavily involved with this show, and I really love that he actually was part of the team here, because it really does give him a much better role, and I really love what they did with that. I thought there was some really good changes with what they did, and I thought, again, Tony Anselmo is just such a great character, and I doubt that Donald Duck is ever going to get old. Really, guys, the entire cast as a whole, I really think everyone really worked well together. I think, everyone really did feel in there. There really was no one who, in my opinion, really felt out of place. Even smaller characters, like the woman that was trying to hook up with Donald and things like that. I thought they all just worked really well together. I really think there was any bad casting choice, and that is absolutely something I will give this first episode for sure. So now let's get into the directing and the writing, because I definitely really did enjoy it. The tone here is great. This is a very fun, adventurous show. It's not trying to be anything too complex. However, I was a little bit surprised that they did give a little bit of mystery. There's a lot of mystery going on here. They really do deepen the mythology a lot, and that is due in part to the writing. The writing, in my opinion, was actually the best aspect of the show besides the cast. The writing was fantastic here. I thought, in general, like I said, there's some great one-liners that so many of the characters had, and I definitely really did enjoy it. Whether Huey, Dewey, and Louie think that Donald didn't really have much of a life, or little gags here and there, like Donald answering the stapler and thinking that was the phone. That was just hilarious stuff. I love the way that was done. Just so many great gags here and there that I definitely really did enjoy. And then the characters, like I said, they really did get all the characters very well. I thought all that stuff was really well done. But like I said, the thing that impressed me the most was the mythology, how deep the show is willing to go into Scrooge and Donald's past. Like I said, Donald's a lot more of a central character on the show, so to see him here, it really does seem like we're going to add a little bit more layers to Donald as a character, and I thought that was honestly really interesting, what we did get here with Donald. I thought there was definitely some interesting stuff, and I really did enjoy, what they did with that. I thought there was some really cool stuff with that here, and especially the way the episode ends, without spoiling anything, really great stuff. Really perfectly hooks me in to see how things are going to go for the rest of the show. And I didn't think this was going to be a show that really, like I said, had a huge mythology, but especially the way the episode ends, it really does seem like they're going to go more into that. And that's something I'm definitely interested in getting into, is, you know, Scrooge and Donald, obviously, they had all these kind of adventures that Huey, Dewey, and Louie didn't know about. And I thought it was very interesting the way they did that. So I thought all of them worked. I thought that was definitely really cool the way they did that, and I definitely really did enjoy that. I only have really one flaw with this episode, and that is I did feel things were a bit rushed. Like, it didn't take very long for Scrooge to realize that he did want to go on this adventure, and I just feel like they could have developed it a little bit more. They did a good job with setting it up. I thought the setup was great, but the getting there I just thought was a little bit rushed, and the villain in this episode I thought was very one-note. I didn't really think much of the villain. I thought that he was just very disposable. I get that he was a figure from Scrooge's past, but I just didn't care much about him. I thought, you know, he was funny, but I just didn't really care much for the villain as a whole. I did think that the quest they went on was really interesting. I thought the arc with Huey, Dewey, and Louie of them wanting to be adventurers, I just thought there was some really great stuff there, and I definitely really did enjoy that. But like I said, I did think that the arc in general was just a little tiny bit rushed, nothing much to it. But let's talk about the animation here, because I do definitely want to talk about it. The animation is a very specific kind of animation. I don't know if it's flash animation or what it is, but it looks really cool. I haven't really seen animation done quite like this. It kind of looks like something directly out of a comic book, and I definitely really did enjoy the animation here. I think it's extremely well done, and I like that they didn't try to just repeat the original series. They could have easily just done that, you know, reanimate the characters, use the same animation or whatever. They really did change it in a different way, and that's something I really did enjoy. It just happens to be called DuckTales. Obviously, it's the same characters, but it is very different animation, and I thought the designs of each of the characters were really good. Scrooge still looks like Scrooge. Donald obviously still looks like Donald. Huey, Dewey, and Louie still look like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. I'm just saying the way the animation looked, they really did update it very well, and I was very impressed with the way that was turned out. Let's talk about the theme. I love the theme. I mean, the DuckTales theme is so iconic in general, and I like that Felicia Barton, she didn't try to do anything really different to it. She didn't try to butcher it in any way. She just sang it as it is, and I definitely really did enjoy it. I thought it was just a lot of fun to hear it again, and the intro is easily one of the best things about the show. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people love DuckTales so much, is because the intro, but the intro really is great. I mean, it really is something incredible, and it just perfectly puts you into the show. It's probably like the top 5 best intros of all time, honestly. It really is. I mean, it's just such an entertaining intro, and I thought it was interesting they didn't use it till episode 2, like the second half of the episode, but I thought it was still cool the way they did incorporate that. I definitely really did appreciate that here. And then, like I said, the editing of this episode was like 42 minutes. I thought it was really interesting the way they did do that, but I thought it really did fly by for me. I was into it pretty much the whole time, and I can't wait to see where the rest of the show is going to go from here. Overall, guys, like I said, I really loved this first episode of DuckTales. I thought it was incredibly well done. I thought they perfectly got us back into this world. Like I said, my knowledge of DuckTales is a little bit fuzzy. I've seen, like, the movie, and I've seen a couple episodes, but other than that, I can't really tell you much about this, the original show. But from what it seems like here, it doesn't seem like you need to know much about it. Like, obviously, there are some, probably there are some Easter eggs in there that I think people will definitely talk about. But, you know, for me, someone who didn't really watch the original show a lot, I think this was very fresh. It was a lot of fun to watch. And it was just really cool to see these characters again. Huey, Dewey, Louie, Donald, Scrooge. I'm glad that after all these years, we're still finding things to do with the classic Disney characters. That's something I still really do enjoy. You know, Disney, they've been doing some really great stuff, but it's been rare since we've seen a show like this that isn't like aimed for really little kids. So it's cool to see that we are still doing stuff with these characters. It's not just some animated short. It is in fact an actual TV series. I'm very happy to see that. I overall really did enjoy the season premiere, and I am going to give the series premiere of DuckTales Season 1, Episode 1, woo, a B+. Over, guys, from this episode of DuckTales. Let me know what you guys thought of the series from overall. Left your thoughts. Did you like it more in the original? Or you're interested in seeing how it's going to go? If you missed it, I can't imagine how. I mean, literally, Disney XD played it for 24 hours straight, which was a really interesting tactic. I've never really seen a network do something like that before. But the only thing I can think of is when Rick and Morty on April Fool's Day, they like played it over and over again, but not for like 24 hours straight. I think it's really cool the way they did that. It's clear Disney XD has a lot of comments in the show. It's already been renewed for a second season. But from here on out, guys, I'm obviously not going to review every episode. I'm just going to review the season when it's over. But I will be watching pretty much every episode. I can't wait to see the way the show really does turn out. And I'm extremely excited to see what else becomes of it on September 23rd. But that's my review. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for a movie review. And I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.